Welcome to the Hudson Valley Strong Dads Podcast, your weekly dose of everything dads need to navigate fatherly relationships, their bodies, and spirits. This show is rated M for manly. And now, your host. He was once known for wearing Nike and Adidas at the same time. Currently in the race to be the next Dos Equis most interesting man alive, Lou Torres.
All right, guys, so welcome to episode number 2, essentially of teaching your boy or girl how to work, right? So if you've gone over episode 1, I kind of went over how and why I'm starting this, or why I want to do this. And you know, I'm a creature of how do you say, like, I don't wait on perfection to do stuff. So I know some of this stuff is going to be, I'm not going to be the biggest podcaster out there, but I'm getting started and I'm going to fail forward, in other words. And I'm going to get stuff started and go. So you'll notice I'm committed to do 52 of these, right, for the year, for 52 a whole year's, one a week. So I guarantee you by the end of, say, episode 25 would be better than episode 2. By episode 45 would be better than episode 30. You get what I'm saying? So it's one of the ways I operate, one of the ways I get stuff done. But the main topic of today is how to teach one of the big failures I see as parents. And I am by no means a perfect human, a perfect person, but I take my responsibility as my son's father, Max's father, 100% serious. And it's 2017. If you really want to, everybody, the tale of there's no books on it, that's kind of a lie. There are books on fatherhood. There are books on being a good parent, right? There's enough stuff out there that if you want to research it and be the best that you could be at it, you can learn it. So one of the failures I see as in parenting is the next generation feels very. I coach. I coach athletes in the weight room. I coach athletes when they're out of middle school and high school. I see them in the college setting. But one of the things I see is the common trend of entitlement. And why is that? One of my things, and you guys chime in, in the comment section down below. We tell our kids that they could do anything, and we tell our kids that they could do anything, be anything, and yada yada, this, that, and then some. But one of the failures I see as parents is we don't teach them how to work. So if you continue to tell a person that they could do anything, and everything is theirs, and whatever they shoot for the moon, and yada, all those great parenting sayings, but we don't teach them how to work, they think that they're entitled to stuff, and they're not. Nobody is. You get what you deserve in life, and that's about it. You get what you work for, per se, but not what you deserve. You know what I mean? Life is not easy. We have to prepare them for that age when they're not under our wing, and that's a very important thing, right? A great man, one of my mentors, showed me about the funnel, and the funnel is you can put the magical age of 23, 24 at the end of it. The funnel is very wide in the beginning when your son or daughter is very young, and you want to put all the positive attributes of being a great human into that, right? Charisma, personality, trustfulness, you get what I'm saying, all the positive things that you want your child to be. As they age, 14, 15, 16, you start to hone in that funnel, and you start to put accountability, responsibility there, right? For that magical age, and when they leave under your wing, 23, 24, 25, you don't have to worry that you just raised a boy, you raised a man. They could be a better man than you are. And if you ask my son right now, what's my job? And it's to raise a better man than he is, right? So one of the top things I want to teach you, go over today is, I think a mother's role at first is nature versus nurture, right? And they nature and nurture a kid until a certain age, and then fatherhood steps in, and we're all needed, but I think we're needed more at a certain age more than others, around that 5, 6, especially for a boy. He's going to start to gravitate towards your father. But that's what, fathers to me are intended to instill adventure and belief, self-belief, and give them a sense of never being scared of certain things. Because, like I said, life is not easy, and you need to always have a self-belief system in yourself above all else, I think. So one of the things that we want to go over is kind of the 5 things that you could do to instill that you're on the right track with this kind of stuff. And this is stuff that I take to heart, the stuff that I do, right? So number 1, example, example, example. Be the example. They are sponges and they are always watching. If you ask my son about what we do together, Saturdays, Sundays, we train together, right? Even though he's only 7. I teach him things. He sees how I carry myself outside of the gym setting. He sees me meal prepping or cooking for myself, cooking for him. He sees there's times that I don't feel like doing stuff, but he sees that I do it anyway. So that becomes a habit, and we get into that later. So if you're always choosing not to do something because of how you feel, that becomes a habit. But if you always choose to do stuff regardless of how you feel in that micro moment, that becomes a habit as well. And that's a good lesson for later on. We'll probably go over that. I think number 2 is give them work. Give them work where they feel responsible. So regardless if I'm working on my car, if I'm installing something in the gym, if I'm doing something, I try to involve my son. The other day I had to fix a toilet at the gym. I showed him how the mechanisms work and how and why, and he's intrigued by it. And I could tell that he's really focused and paying attention, right? And I had him even put all that happens is the toilet that I have, and I'll probably have to reinstall this the new system that dumps the water, blah, blah, blah. The chain comes off the damn stopper piece all the time. So I had him reattach that. But guess what? He felt really important when he did that, right? And it's also a little bit of motor skill work, intricate details of your hand, right? And wiring motor patterns and stuff. But what am I doing? Instilling confidence in him, right? That I trust him enough to put this chain on. And to him, that's a big deal right now, right? Expose them to stories of greatness. I'm not saying that you have to over exaggerate on stories, right? But the biggest thing in I think boys, it's a men's life is funny topic, but I think a lot of men chase sports stars now because they're looking for new age superheroes more than anything else, right? Like they don't have anything else to look into, right? So now their sports stars are their superheroes in a sense. But I think you need to expose them to people that you feel that are doing great things in humanity in the world, right? I think Tesla is one of those, is Elon Musk guy. And I've talked to my son about him. I've talked to my son about other men and women that I think are doing great things for humanity, which I think is an important concept for him to understand. I mean, it's one of the things is, I'm not really gonna pay him for throwing out the trash, right? I'm not gonna pay him for possibly sweeping. These are things that he's supposed to do, right? Teach him how to work a little bit, teach him how to have responsibility. As he gets older, he gets more responsibility. But I'm not gonna give him money for doing stuff that you're supposed to do as a human anyway, you know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion on it, but I think, he needs to learn that these are basic human needs and how to do this stuff. And the big one, understand that they're always watching. It ties in with number 1, always learning. Again, like I've said, I've messed up in life. I'm not a perfect human. But at times when I think he's not paying attention to my behavior in certain ways I act, he is. And that's made me very intuitive of basically what I'm doing, when I'm doing it in front of him, how, you know what I mean? Making sure that that I'm setting the example. We're not all perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we're not intended to be perfect, right? But it's like the whole progress, not perfection, in a step. But these are things that I think. Listen, this is the straight truth, all right? And I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I get a lot of inquiries. I get a lot of parents who call me 12 at that magical age, 12, 13, 14 years age, when their bodies are what's holding them back instead of their skill development on the athlete side. And then what happens is some of these kids are just straight up lazy because their parents never taught them how to work, and I'm intended to now fix it. I can't necessarily fix that, right? That's a failed parenting style. You didn't teach your boy or girl how to work. And if you don't teach them how to work at the younger age, middle school, high school, and then all of a sudden they are good enough to play at the next level, whatever it is, D1, D2, D3, these are mandatory things in that setting. What do you think is going to happen? You know what I mean? And they're going to be in a huge culture shock because now everybody was all state, all sectional, or whatever, and everybody could do what they did. But you didn't teach your boy or girl how to work. You get what I'm saying? Teach them how to work. It's okay for them to work. I think that's something that's falling by the wayside as parents, and it's our responsibility. I love to hear what you guys have on it. I like to keep these short and concise. Let me know. This is Lou from Hudson Valley Strong Dads Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Hudson Valley Strong Dads Podcast, your weekly dose of everything dads need to navigate fatherly relationships, their bodies, and spirits. For more info, log on to www.hvdadspodcast.com.